Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and earlier today we got a rather surprising article from Joe Blackburn, the assistant game director of Destiny 2, about a topic that honestly I didn't expect Bungie to really ever directly approach, and that is the notion of sunsetting and the reward loot pool currently available in Destiny 2. Now, this has been a big topic of conversation for the past couple of weeks, really since Beyond Light came out, and the fire behind this conversation was really renewed with the TWAB last week, when we learned that Iron Banner was going to be starting at Reset this week. It's actually going to be going live later today, with basically the same pool of weapons and armor that we've been seeing in previous years. It sparked a lot of conversation. A lot of people are wondering where all the new gear is, and what was the point of sunsetting stuff just to bring it back and make us regrind it. And it seems we've actually gotten an official response from Bungie themselves. In an article titled Destiny 2 Dev Update Rewards, we learn about the Bungie-backed reasoning for why there are infusion caps and sunsetting and stuff like that in the game. And we'll also be learning quite a bit about the incoming Transmog system. But I wanted to take the time to read the entire thing and give you exactly what Joe had to say. It's going to be a bit of a long one, so sit tight. Let's go ahead and dive on in. Hey everybody! My name is Joe Blackburn, and I'm the Assistant Game Director on Destiny 2. If your free time looks anything like mine, you've been spending a lot of it on Europa over the past few weeks. Some of you may know me from my previous Bungie life when I worked with the raid team and on Season of Opulence. I'm back thanks to a revive from Luke and team as we work together to create a Destiny 2 future that we're all excited about. Today, I want to spend some time with you on a subject that is near and dear to every Destiny 2 player's heart. Rewards. There's a thing I ask a lot around the virtual office. How are we making every season the best time to jump back into Destiny? Destiny is a very large and complex game, and while this is what also makes it the game we love, we want Destiny 2 to continue to evolve to be a world with momentum. Introducing Infusion Caps is a part of addressing this. A way to make sure that the overall number of rewards Guardians need to care about in order to be competitive in Destiny isn't prohibitive. It is also a way to continue evolving each season's meta, while at the same time making sure players still have a ton of options when choosing what they want to bring into the next challenge. Our goal from the beginning with Infusion Caps is to improve and keep Destiny 2 fresh over time. What we're most looking forward to is how this system will introduce innovation to the season-over-season meta, how creative builds from the community will shine, and how we can continue to deliver more unique, handcrafted gear that aligns with the world narrative and where the universe is going. While we are still hard at work on improvements to how we rotate gear out of the Destiny power ecosystem, what gear you can infuse to max power, there were a few clear-cut misses with our first rollout, and I'd like to take the moment here to remind everybody this is not their first rollout of Infusion Caps. Anyways, continuing on. The initial reward pool with this release was just too small. It's frustrating to be playing Destiny and see another player use a weapon that is no longer obtainable in the game. And actually, I would agree with both of those complaints there. The initial reward pool of Beyond Light was definitely too small. That's certainly been a big complaint of Guardians since Beyond Light's release. But anyways, moving on. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking rewards, but before we deep dive, let's get the TLDR out there. These are the big commitments we're making today. With each season in Year 4, Destiny 2 will grow the overall power ecosystem for weapons. With very few exceptions, all weapons you can take to the power cap should still be earnable in-game, and future annual releases will contain more new weapons to collect than Beyond Light or Shadowkeep. So those are the big things that Bungie is promising to do moving forward, and it's what they're going to be going on to explain throughout the rest of this article. That's a good thing. I'm very happy to hear this sort of thing, and so if you're looking to hear what Bungie had to say about sunsetting, there you go. You can tune out now. The rest of this video is just going to be going through the details of how they're going to be doing that, and then talking a bit about Transmog. Though, and before I go into the rest of this, I do want to say that while I'm happy with the TLDR here of what they want to do, this is almost point for point exactly what happened the first time they put in an infusion cap and started this whole sunsetting thing way back in the Taken King. It's not lost on me that we are retreading old ground here. But let's go ahead and move on. growing the power ecosystem. With Beyond Light, we took on the huge challenge of rebuilding our technology from the ground up. One of the benefits of this was improving the speeds with which we could make and update Destiny. You've already seen some of these gains since launch, with updates such as buffing the legendary engram coming in much faster than we've been able to do in the past. But Season 13 will be here in just a couple of months, very soon in the world of Destiny development. So let's talk about how we are continuing to leverage our technology to act with agility. Season 13 is the first chance for us to prove our commitment to growing the overall power ecosystem with each release in Year 4. We want to make sure that with each new season, there are more weapons to take with you to tackle the Nightfall Ordeal or Master Bunker E15 than there were before. While I won't be spoiling what new stuff you'll be able to chase in our next season, I did want to touch on a few changes we've made to the reward offering specifically based on what we've seen in Beyond Light. In Season 13, we're adding 6 new legendary weapons to our ritual activities, 2 each for Strikes, Gambit, and Crucible. In addition to the weapons above, Nightfall Strikes are getting 3 unique weapons, with the Palindrome, the Swarm, and Shadow Price all making their Destiny 2 debuts. If you're brave enough to take on Grandmaster Nightfalls, you will also be able to earn ADEPT versions of these weapons. This is fantastic news. We learned quite a while back before Beyond Light came out that ADEPT weapons are not only coming to Trials of Osiris, but also to Advanced Grandmaster Nightfalls. And now we know what those weapons are going to be. Destiny 1 classics like the Palindrome, which was a PvP monster, the Swarm, which is an old LMG from D1, and of course, one of the OG legendary auto rifles, the Shadow Price. Very happy to hear about this. And with the ADEPT system that we know is coming to Trials, I can't wait to see how these weapons are going to have further, better versions of themselves that you'll be able to grind out in Grandmaster Nightfalls. Very good news here. The next section is titled Keeping Current. Season 13 not only represents the start of our commitment to growing the power ecosystem, but it also is an opportunity for us to improve how we can keep Destiny accessible to new players. New Guardians are essential to the health of our community, and, as with our investment in features like the new light introduction on the Cosmodrome, we must also invest in making sure the reward structure of Destiny is approachable to everyone. In a recent patch, we added the Season 10 and Season 11 weapons to the World Drop Pool, and we removed the Season 9 weapons. This was important for a few reasons. We want to make sure that players have a way to earn all power-relevant weaponry in the live game. If a group of new Guardians is just getting into Grandmaster Nightfalls and they see guides on YouTube involving Warmind cells, we need to provide a path for them to participate. At the same time, we don't want to be clogging up the reward streams with weapons that are about to exit the power ecosystem. So anything that's only going to be around for a few more months shouldn't be something that a player can accidentally obtain. And that's definitely a point that I agree with. It was weird at the beginning of Beyond Light to get weapons dropping that were going to be sunset that season. Definitely weird. In Season 13, we will continue to allow all players to gain Season 11 and Season 12 weapons in the World Drop Pool, while Season 10 weapons will be obtainable through a more prescriptive source. This means that legendary engrams will no longer reward these soon-to-expire weapons. If you want to chase a specific piece of soon-to-be-capped loot, you'll find it at the gunsmith. This is all a part of our larger commitment to making sure that players can always earn anything they might need to take on challenging activities. That said, this will require a few exceptions and some updates to the live game. As far as expectations, we don't plan on adding methods for players to acquire holiday weapons like the Braytech Werewolf outside of participating in those yearly celebrations. Good, there should be a bit of FOMO there for events like that. For updates, this does mean in Season 13 we will be adding limited time quest weapons like Fellwinter's Lie, Whisper of the Worm, and Outbreak Perfected to the exotic kiosk in the tower. Perfectly fine with that choice there. I was wondering how they were going to bring back Fellwinter. Everybody thought it was going to be maybe a quest added to this season's Iron Banner starting today, but it looks like they're just going to add it to that lost weapon kiosk we have next to vaults. I'm perfectly fine with it. All right, moving forward from there, the next section is titled Quality and Quantity. After covering things we'd like to change, I want to spend some time talking about what must stay the same. Destiny is a game built on exciting rewards. From Bastion to the Icarus SMG to Falling Guillotine, the rewards over the last 12 months have continued to evolve the way Guardians play the game. In Beyond Light, I believe the rewards team nailed it again with incredible new legendary perks like Recombination, Thresh, Chain Reaction, and Reconstruction. Alongside these perks came what I believe to be one of the best lineups of exotics and armor in Destiny history. I definitely agree with the new perks there. I love it. We talked a lot about this before Beyond Light again. If you want a sunset, you want to get me off of my old Ostringer and stuff like that, present new weapons with new perks that I can't get on Ostringer. And boy oh boy, do those raid weapons have some great perk combinations. Anyways, Joe goes on to say, but where we succeeded in quality, we failed in quantity. Again, definitely agree with that. Even as Season 12, the Deepstone Crypt, and the full breadth of Europa weapons came online, the total count of weapons in Beyond Light is lower than what we want. So, we're making the commitment now that our future annual releases will have more weapon rewards than Beyond Light or Shadowkeep. And while I think that's a great commitment to make, I don't think it's exactly a hard commitment to make. Remember, something like 75.5% of available weapons got sunset, and nowhere near that amount was added into the game at the start of Beyond Light. So it's not exactly high bars they're setting here, if we're being real, if we're being perfectly honest. But I am happy to see them make that commitment. Anyways, Joe says, there's no way for us to make more rewards at Destiny standards and still maintain the health of our current team. Therefore, we're going to reinforce the rewards team with more talent that will allow us to deliver quality and quantity in the future. Molding someone new into a master Destiny gunsmith takes time. This isn't going to be a change that the community will feel next week, but it does put our best foot forward as we step towards the Witch Queen and Lightfall. Again, just reaffirming the commitment that they've already made there. Very happy to hear about that. Next section is titled Preheating the Oven. And this is the section that's going to be talking quite a bit about the notion of Transmog and how it's going to work in Destiny 2. Increasing the reward team size is one of our long-term initiatives, but it is not the only upgrade to our gear rotation plan that we want to get into the oven. We envision a better solution for how armor intersects with Infusion Caps. The personality of armor comes from mods right now, so gaining a new piece of armor often means just trying to find a piece of armor that replicates the stat allocation you already have on a piece in your vault. That's definitely true. While we are not ready to talk concretely about armor plans right now, we do want to get more gameplay novelty on armor itself so that looting a piece of armor in a new season has the potential to change the way you play. Expect to hear more about armor and other holistic upgrades in the way gear rotates in and out of the power ecosystem as we harden plans in the new year. And that new year will be here before you know it. A big chunk of the team will be taking some hard-earned time off to rest and relax ahead of coming back to the studio and diving into 2021. We have a lot of work to do, and while I'm looking forward to the break, I also can't wait to get to work on some of the huge stuff we've got coming in for the new year. Without spoiling too much, here's a brief teaser of some of the things that are on their way in Destiny 2 Year 4. 1. Transmog will be coming with Season 14. More details to come. See work in progress screen captures below. Not final, and of course they may change. We'll be looking at those in just a sec. DDoS protection for Destiny 2 players on all consoles will be coming next season, Season 13. Really happy to hear about that. Of course, we know this one. The Vault of Glass raid is going to be returning next year as well. Crossplay will also be coming in 2021. Huge news there. We just had the update go live for consoles right now to allow cross-generational play between PS4 and PS5 and Xbox One and the Series S and Series X. And we know, we were waiting for it. We're going to be getting crossplay compatibility sometime next year. Really happy about that. Cannot wait to raid with my console bros once again. Moving on, 2 strikes, the Fallen Saber and the Devil's Lair are coming to Destiny 2 in Season 13. Classic D1 strikes, can't wait for it. And Legendary and Master Lost Sector rotations will be expanded to include the Lost Sectors on the Moon in Season 13, and there will be 3 new pieces of exotic armor to chase. Very excited about that. I love the way the Legendary and Master Lost Sector kind of in-game grind works right now. If you're done with your weekly stuff, you're at the right level, you can just go in there solo for a chance at high-rolled exotics. I love that system. It's one of the best things Bungie has added in a long time, and I hope it remains a core part of Destiny moving forward. But then after that, we get to see what this new Transmog system might just look like. We get a couple of screenshots here showing how we'll be able to not only change the appearance of our armor, but also change the way we shade our armor in a more complete fashion. Rather than having to go and look at things individually, you can pull up what we're seeing here on the screenshot, the entire armor set, and just jump between different shaders and jump between different ornaments or gear set looks. So you can see there with the customization and armor overview, we've got the full luck set on that Warlock there with the Skelegal shader. And then a second screenshot bringing up basically a more optimized version of the shader inventory, which hopefully gets removed from our normal inventory. I hope it gets its own little thing where we'll be able to further customize our armor. Transmog is one of the things a lot of Guardians are most excited for. We have been waiting with bated breath to hear more from Bungie about how exactly they're going to be implementing that system here in Destiny 2. Very exciting stuff. But alright, the last section is titled Returning to Orbit. Now that I've ranted longer than a raid leader on Val Kaor, don't remind me of that. Let's wrap this thing up. 2020 has been a hard year for so many folks out there, and I hope that Beyond Light has been able to be a bright spot over the past couple of weeks, which I'd say it definitely has. Playing Destiny 2 alongside you helps keep us going. We're going to keep our ears and eyes open for more feedback as we continue towards 2021. I hope your holiday treats you well, and can't wait to share more Destiny with you in the new year. Thanks for your time, Joe Blackburn. But alright, there we go, Guardians. That article is now complete, talking a lot about how Bungie views sunsetting, why they put in infusion caps and stuff like that, and how they're looking at fixing some of the mistakes that they made. I think they definitely made with sunsetting in Beyond Light. And like I said earlier in the video, while I'm happy about some of the changes that they're making, I'm happy they recognize the problem with a shallow loot pool in a looter shooter like this. I'm not going to move away from the notion that we are quite literally reliving the same lessons that we thought we had learned way back in the Taken King and moving from that era over into the Rise of Iron era, where a lot of that sunset gear was brought right back to players. It looks like we're kind of doing the same sort of thing here. And while it's a good thing, it's probably the best outcome we could have had. Hopefully we can avoid this sort of scenario moving forward, where we take out a lot of the things that players are using and playing with, and then not replacing that stuff with a sufficient amount of new loot. Very happy to see that Bungie is addressing this. Really happy to learn about some of those changes coming to Nightfalls. Cannot wait to get my hands on this Shadow Price once again. Really psyched about that. But anyways, that's the article. Those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. How do you feel about all of this stuff that Joe talked about in this article? There's a lot there, but there's a lot of great nuggets of gold of content that I cannot wait to get my hands on. That's it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. But not for now. As always, I am the Black Link. Guardians, stay frosty. And here's hoping this bright new loot future in Destiny 2 comes sooner rather than later.